You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene with Wole and Ray. What's going on, Ray Jeezy?
Second time, well, third time today. I seen you in person, which was different.
That's wild. I know, right?
And now we back virtually, but we dropping a banger of an interview that we, of course, recorded earlier. So just giving a preview to the people, especially our HBCU family. Mm-hmm. But always good to see you, my brother, for sure.
Oh, right. Always a blessing, bro. Always a blessing. It's going to be a busy day for the Urban Sports Scene. I ain't going to hold you. For me, yes, definitely. But it's always, I mean, like we got a cool guest. You know, Ray, you know, one of my favorite college basketball players of all time. So we'll talk to him about a great honor that's bestowed upon him. So we'll talk about that as well. But before we get into all of that, we got to knock out some logistics. Hey, check out our website, which is theurbansportscene.com. You can also subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. If you're in the YouTube chat, we accept super chats. Super chats help us support our show. The super chats will be prioritized over all comments in the YouTube chat. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. You can also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Just search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. Ray, you mentioned this individual before we started going live. Will T, he normally used to say this, so I'm going to say it for him. Let's get into our tradition, the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We're going to welcome DMV legendary hooper and Wake Forest great Randolph Childress back on the show. We're going to talk about him being an inductee to the 2025 DC Basketball Hall of Fame.
Well, I told you, he needs no introduction, but I'm going to do my job for the Urban Sports Scene's sake. Now joining the Urban Sports Scene, he's an ACC legend. He's Wole's favorite player, and also soon to be inductee to the DC Basketball Hall of Fame. Welcome back, Randolph Childress.
What's up, fellas? I appreciate you guys having me back, man.
Oh man, we appreciate you being on. You know what I mean? Like we get one of the ones, dog. One of them ones. That's why you just like that's the term I like to use. One of them ones. You know what I'm saying? So thanks for being on, man.
Nah, you know, anytime you guys call, man, if I can make it happen, I will. You guys doing a great job, man. You love your content, love what you're doing. Just keep doing it. Appreciate
you. All right, so I'm gonna ask you this question. All right, man. So we just mentioned you're about to be inducted to the DC Hall of Fame.
Right.
Basketball Hall of Fame. So are you gonna have like Jeff McGinnis introduce you in? Like what are you gonna do? Like how's that?
Man, I gotta leave my guy Jeff. I can't listen. I'm trying to patch things up with Jeff, man. Y'all keep making it hard, man. I'm trying to.
Hey, we can't. Literally, it's this.
Randolph Childress. Nice little cross. Oh my! What a cross over there. You see that? Get me.
It's always there. I'm just saying, it's always there. It's always there.
My man ain't gonna never let it go, man. He ain't gonna never let me live. I'm trying to be nice to my guy. No, Jeff's been great with me over the years, man. But I know people can't. They ain't gonna never let him lay that down. But back then we could talk trash, man. It was part of what it was. I loved it. We could do that. And he just was on the wrong end of one of those moves right
there. Have you ever paid attention to how many views that video has on like YouTube and stuff? It's crazy.
No, you know what? It's one of those things now. I'll get the younger generation to associate that to me all the time. They'll come up to me and mention that all the time. So I would imagine Jeff's got to be tired of it because, again, he's on the wrong end of that. But, you know, you don't think about something like that. You can't make somebody fall. It just happens. They do it. And, you know, like I said, I just made the shot and, you know, the rest is history. But it's been cool to be a part of something like that just kind of seems to take on a run of its own.
I won't lie to you. Like,
I wish I got paid for it. That's what I wish.
Should have though. You really should.
Yeah. That's what I wish. I wish I got a check.
Because no people try to copy that thing in the streets. Come on, bro. You should get paid for it. For real.
I wish.
Yeah, to get up. That's what they call it. People still talk about it to this day.
Get up.
And before we get into the real stuff, I got kind of a question. You know, it's been the summertime. I don't know exactly how you spend your summer. I know you definitely travel and all, but I thought about how, at least in the States, in the summertime, we got the big three, and we have WNBA. And I thought, dang, what if the big three contacted Randolph Childress? Would you have considered at any point playing in that league?
Nah. I'm trying to hold. Listen, when I was playing at 38, when I finished, I had a broken jaw. I had broke my jaw that year, and my career ended because I tore my hamstring in 2 places. My goal now, that was it. That's how I finished it. When a doctor looked at my hamstring, they were like, it's too much blood in it. We can't even tell how bad it is. I had to wait about a week or 2 weeks for the blood to go down so they can look at me. And they were like, oh, you toured in 2 places. I was done. And this was like February. Wow. And the season wasn't over till like June. They were like, man, you're done. Like, you can't come back. So at that point, I just sat around, rehabbed it enough just so I can come home and walk and be normal, man. My goal now is not to be on the operating table. Playing basketball, I ain't trying to rupture no Achilles. I don't even want an ankle sprain. All the surgeries I've had, I've never had an ankle sprain, and I ain't about to have one now. So unless you can sprain your ankle playing golf or something like that, that's about it. Then basketball is out. I can play sports. I shoot around, but hooping, nah.
When's the last time you hooped? It was like after you professionally played?
Man, we had an official visit on campus when I was coaching, and I think we had Duncan back, Paul back, and we had a bunch of a lot of kids, and I played with them. That's the last time I played pickup. I ain't played pickup in over 10 years.
Wow, okay.
Dang. Well,
too
bad running shooting around.
I got all I can get, Ray. I got all I can get out of it, man. You know what they say, ball to the wheels fall off. My wheels fell off and left a long time ago. Listen, I can catch and shoot. I don't want to play in no 35 and older league, no 40 and older league. I ain't playing in none of that. You pass it to me, I'm shooting. I ain't running up and down cross half court. I ain't doing none of that. It's over.
Yeah, I catch you on Dave and Buster's. You know what I'm saying?
That's all you get me on one of them little machines. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. When the theme park comes in town, I'm shooting to win a little basketball for the kids or the grandkids or something. That's all I got.
Yeah, Wole, he know we used to win them stuffed animals like King's Dominion.
King's Dominion was good, bro.
Hey, I win this stuffed animal, walk up to a girl like, look, this what you want this man. My wife upstairs, man. Y'all about to get me in trouble.
You know, that's the funny part, because when I think about, you getting inducted to the DC Hall of Fame, I'm going off script a little bit, Wole, but I know you got a lot of stories, and I'm just wondering who kept you grounded all these years, your upbringing to get you to this point. I'm sure you had to have strong parenting and a good support system to get you to the place where you are now, where you done came through being a star high school athlete and college athlete down south, and you from the city. I was like, man, he probably was cutting up.
Listen, man, you know what's funny is that when you grow up from there, like I'm growing up, I'm living in Suit and Lease apartments off of Naylor Road. And then my grandmother was between that and Alabama Avenue, right? And going to Garfield. You don't know like none of this was even thought about, right? Like going to college wasn't even an option. Nobody in my family had went, so everything about it was just uncharted territory, right? So for me, it was just about setting the standard eventually for my family. When I had to figure it out. There was no one in my family that had gone this path. So I was just trying to figure it out. So there was no expectations. It was just, all right, you get somewhere and you're, I'm hooping, and then I'm transferring to all these schools. And then I said before, the late George Leftwich, who we just recently lost, George Leftwich makes a call to Stu Vetter, sends me out there. Then I get all these notoriety. Then I get these scholarship offers. Next thing you know, I'm playing, and I'm playing with all these guys from Grant Hill to Charlie Moe and all these guys. And then I get a scholarship to go to college. I'm thinking like, man, I just want to graduate. That's why I went to Wake. I was like, all right, again. So I say all that to say it's you don't know. I just lived it day by day and tried to figure it out. Like, my mom was holding it down, and then she met my stepdad, and my father was around, and it's a village, man. We grew up with a village of dudes, and so I didn't, I just eventually learned. You show up, you compete, you learn, you make the best of it, and there was no blueprint for what it is now. They didn't have all these options of people trying to figure it out. I was just trying to get out of the city and make it. And like when my parents, when they dropped me off at Wake, they was like, don't come back. Like it wasn't no coming back home. It was just like, you got to go figure this out, like make the best of it. So that's all my intentions was just like not to have to come home, to make the best of it and to figure it out and to set an establishment and to set a blueprint for my family, which is what I'm proud of. Probably the proudest thing I am of my accomplishment. People talk so much about basketball stuff. It's, man, I'm married and kids, and everybody's gone to college and everybody's graduated, which is something that, again, being the first one of, in your family to go, like that's the standard that I set now that affected the trajectory of my family. And I'm probably the most proud of that.
Wow, you giving us a preview of what your speech might look like.
Hey man, I've been thinking about, and I was worried because I was like, I actually got to get up and talk, so I got to figure that out. But I got some time though.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you heard the announcement came down, like what came through your mind? Like what was the emotions?
The emotional first thing I thought of when I saw the class of who I was going in with. And I was like, damn, you know, and so when I saw these people and I looked and I'm like, man, this is David Robinson going in here. Like that's some dude. And I'm like, kid, you know, Steve Turner. And I'm looking like I know these people. And I'm looking at Christy and I'm like, then these are. So whenever you go into something like that, particularly from that area, that's for basketball, like we have had and we always will. We got so many dudes, right? And to be, you know, to get my turn and to be considered, you know, in the Hall of Fame is obviously something you still can't comprehend. Because again, if I go back to high school, man, when I'm in the 10th grade, I'm looking at Henry Hall and I'm looking at Clint Venable and these dudes, and I'm like, to me, they was it. Like I never, you know, from Kurt Smith, like I'm looking at these dudes, like, man, I'm looking up, like I can't, I'm trying to get to them. I'm just trying to get there. I'm never thinking about everything that happened beyond that. They just all motivated me in different ways to be better. My peers did, guys that I'm competing with in the drive just to be better. And then you look up one day and it's humbling because you get to an age now and my kids and my family gets to celebrate in that and see me being honored for things that they really weren't a part of at that time. Obviously, my kids weren't born and I wasn't even with my wife at the time. So to have this story and this journey and for them to be a big part of that is pretty cool.
It's funny, like you mentioned, when you mentioned your kids, do they know like how good you were back in the day? Do they
better know something the way they was raised. I called my kids, you trust fund babies, you ain't work hard for nothing. All Alabama's went to school. I done paid all them damn tuition checks. Like, get out of here, man. My son ended up going to Wake and Play. I called him a trust fund baby. Like, man, get out of here. Like, this foundation was already late. Nah, you know what, man? All seriously, I don't know if they do, but I think now what's happened is like, true story. My son just took off last. Y'all know now it's early August, so all the guys are going overseas.
Yeah.
My son just went overseas and he signed to a team in Turkey. I played in Turkey my first year overseas after the NBA was in Turkey. And he's like, Dad, these dudes love you over here. He goes, man, I can't imagine, you know, what it would be like because the most of my years was in Italy over there. And he goes, I can't imagine if I went to Italy. He goes, but you only played in Turkey for a year or two and they love you over here. So he understands it, but you know how it is, man. You get to our age, they think they figuring it out. They all young now. We don't have the answers. They think they, you know, they're the first ones to invent all this stuff. But they get reminders, man. They get reminders of stuff like that. And then when things happen for them through my relationships, I'll just remind them of this is why you treat people a certain way at your age, because, you know, to let them know, even when I get old, I still have these relationships. So I'll use it more so to pick on them a little bit, but also remind them of how the right relationships can benefit you 20 and 30 and 40 years down the road. So that's probably the best thing that I can use as an example when it benefits them, you know, from hiring to jobs to everything, opportunities. It's like, hey, man, let me tell you how this story happened. Let me tell you how I got this relationship of why you got this opportunity. And so that's probably the biggest thing. And then they'll get the basketball stuff, you know, it is what it is. They've seen it. They see jerseys in the house, you know, that kind of things they get reminded of. But the people that have helped me with the journey and other things, they just, when it benefits them or when it comes up, you know, then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, especially I asked that too, because especially with this honor, just the history of the DMV of hooping, like to be acknowledged as one of them. You know, I feel like any kid who hoops or loves basketball can see it and say, dang, my dad was one of them. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that to me, because I'm biased. I feel like we got the best hoopers in the United States, period. Like I feel like that's where we're at. And like you look at the legacy and see like all the individuals who came out of this area, you're part of that. Like, so to me, like that's something that I feel like any kid, when they see like, oh, my dad is in the DC Hall of Fame of basketball, come on.
I would tell you where I thought I was unsure of whether it will happen because, you know, my early years being born in the city, I didn't start playing basketball until I moved out, like organized basketball. I played out. I played pickups. I played in the park. I played up Congress Heights. You know, I would play pickup outside, but nobody knew who I was. It was until I went to college. And then all of a sudden, when I went to Wake Forest, then when I would come back home, dudes would be like, oh, yeah, I remember you, you know, and so on and so forth. So, After that, it got, and then from that point on, it just, it took a life of its own. But again, it's the league, the talent. It's been that way. It's been that way, longer than any of us will be here. And as far as I'm concerned, it will forever be that way. You bid your time, right? And when you special, the true special players, even when the great ones like Durant and Len Bias and all these, and when I say special, I mean historically all-time touched by God talents. They had to wait their turn and got their ass busted like everybody else in that area. So it does not matter. They just were able to, accomplish so much more than the average person. But the talent in that area, man, it's always been that way. It will always be that way. So it's humbling to be considered that, because for me, again, starting the game so late as I did, but to be able to accomplish that and the hunger and the drive all comes from the competition of being from the DMV, man. And that'll never change. And that's with you no matter where you go. I don't live there anymore, but it's still home. I'm looking forward to coming back there next month, and I visit quite often. And that DNA does not leave us. I don't care where we go.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about you coming back. I'm like, it's got to be nostalgia. You know, when you come back and you see where you came up, it's not the same anymore. No, it looks a lot different. The pickup games, all that stuff. I know you laughing. You know what I mean? But it's crazy because we talked to you. We talked to so many people. Everybody is the same thing. These kids today don't realize how playing ball coming up, how serious it was. Like we trying to stay on the court. They got so many AAU games and all this stuff. So are you going to mix that into your message when you are inducted about just that journey and how it can impact this generation?
You know what? I don't know if I will in the sense of this generation, because I just don't think they can't comprehend. And their struggle is different, right? And that's where coaching has helped me understand that. And, when you're talking to these kids, I don't waste my time discussing what I've done, and being in the Hall of Fame, DC Hall of Fame, any of that. I don't discuss it. I just try to say, hey, I'm able to see where they're struggling and why they're struggling. And then I might say something like, you know what, you struggle going left because of your footwork of this or that. Or trust me when I tell you this. And that's where jumping on the court, because I can still shoot it. So when I start discussing something, I might be like, you think you can shoot? All right, dude, I'm 52 years old and I'm gonna shoot you off the gym. Let's go. And I'll just do it. And then they're like, who is this dude? And I'll be like, I'm trying to tell you. And then I'll do it. And then it allows me to be like, look, all seriousness, then I'll make it about them. But their struggle is different. It's a struggle for them too. Their struggle is just different. Right. And what I mean by that is we learned back then because we failed. We got our ass busted. We failed. And this generation, it gets ridiculed and humiliated when they fail. We had a chance to learn from our failures. So I don't spend a lot of time talking about, when I'm in a room with adults and people that understand that, I may mention that because all of our stories are somewhat similar. But when I'm dealing with kids or talking to this generation, I don't bring that up because they can't. They just can't comprehend it. It's totally different times, and their struggle is different. And I've been fortunate enough through coaching and being around these kids day to day, high school level, and even now doing TV with these guys and doing high school championships and college games and NBA games. I'm around it all, and I'm able to when the opportunity presents itself, just kind of fill in and add what I can to help them at that moment.
Man, I tell you, it's crazy. I got kids, and I know all about this generation. It is a lot different. And, oh man, I'm telling you, they have a lot of convenience, though. That's what I'm gonna say. A lot of convenience, a lot of things at their fingertips. They got all the necessary things. Wole and I think we're joking, right? I don't know if you've seen ballers in your generation because we right after you. They got all the gear. They got the arm pad, the wristband, but they terrible though. And that's how my kids are. They got all the accessories. They got all the technology. They can watch YouTube, see every video that they need to, but then give them the court and none of it translates. You know what I'm saying? I think just having that sort of natural ability, we had to be outside. We had to, we had certain things we had to do. And
well, some of what's the fault about that is that what qualified people to teach. And that the trainers and some people weren't qualified to do it. Just because you can watch somebody on TV and you can watch an NBA person and go out there and emulate it. And you got to add context to that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to add context. You can watch a guy like Allen Iverson and be like, hey man, you get in the lane to do the pro hop. Dude, you ain't that fast and you ain't that athletic. Like, let me tell you, you don't have that motor. Like you can't explain stuff to people and get them to add context to I hear like it's like I'll say this about Jordan, right? All these arguments about Jordan. People talk about Jordan. Could he play this time? Blah, blah, blah. Like for me, his greatest skill set, aside from all the stuff everybody talk about, was the dude didn't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
He had a motor about him where Mike could sit around and be up all night longer than 3 hours. But when he went back, it's a lot like Floyd, where Floyd would be like, Floyd wouldn't party, he wouldn't drink.
Yes.
Then he'll run home. Right. Like Mike would be that kind of person where he'd be like, man, I can go out, I can party. But at 5 o'clock, I'm going to the gym to shoot. I'm going to lift. I'm going to do this. And then he's going to give you 40 or 50. It's like, I couldn't do that. Like I needed 8 hours of sleep. I needed my pregame meal. And, I needed to do certain things. So, but no, you got so many trainers, man, that I don't think that are qualified to teach it and can't add context to it. There's different people that can teach the game and talk about the game in the sense of how it pertains to them and get them the correct way to do stuff and correct their form or footwork or whatever, as opposed to trying to emulate somebody else that hasn't done it. And you're around it, you learn it, you're able to teach it. And I'm not saying every player, it has to be a player, but you have to understand why that person is why they're in that position that they're in, man. It's so much to it. We'll see if they figure it out.
Jordan would destroy this era of no foul ball. Yeah,
destroy it. Cut that out.
I don't want to get into the generational thing. I appreciate the comment, of course, because talking to you about just your journey and like it's crazy because again how we watched you, we look at you in a certain light, but you always seem to have this aura about you like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because the other part of it with me is that, and again, this is a good thing. This goes against what like a lot of these kids and parents are doing, right? I didn't play an organized basketball game till I was 13 years old. Right? Wow. But what now I played pickup outside, but when I got coaching, I got fundamentally taught the right way to do something. So I never had to eliminate a bad habit. I always tell people, like, that's why I was able to be so good so fast. Where people may say, oh, I didn't know if you was going to be that good. You didn't know. I'm like, all right. The reason was, the DNA of working hard and all that other stuff. But no one ever had to get me in the gym and say, hey, man, we got to change your shot or we got to change this. I was just taught by really good coaches at a young age when I first started playing the game. So when I got older, no one had to break anything. They didn't have to change anything. I didn't have to go spend countless hours from a guy watching YouTube trying to call himself a trainer, pulling me in the gym. I didn't have all that. I didn't play all that stuff, right? I had the good coaching. I didn't play a ton of AAU. I won the nationals with like Grant Hill, Charlie Moore, and us won the nationals. When I got to high school, that was it. I worked out. Mm-hmm. Like I think some people make the argument whether they play too much. Some of these kids, I balanced it. I would play some in the summer, but I was more of let me get in the gym, let me get better at what I'm doing. And so to each his own, everybody's different. This generation is going to do what they do with it. And, I'm not trying to change their opinion of it, but I didn't have any bad habits. And that helped me as I learned the game because it just took less time. That's the hardest thing to correct is just gripping a basketball, right? Like I got a ball right here. And I would see kids, and you got kids, and they put this hand on top of the ball because they shooting so low. They had no business shooting. Now they want to shoot threes, and this is the only way they can hold a ball, as opposed to getting, So it's stuff like that, man. Where I walk in the gym and instantly I look at a kid and I'd be like, yeah, you could tell he started shooting before he was old enough or strong enough even to shoot threes or shoot a regulation size basket. Like kids are 9 and 10 years old. Some of them, I'm like, man, lower the rim. Like put that thing down to 8 feet. Let these kids shoot on that, just so they don't learn any bad habits. But that's something that I entertain now. That I want to balance out with TV. Is I wouldn't mind developing and teaching youth basketball for kids. That is a passion of something that I love to do. The basics or something like that. Because sometimes you get limited off of what you can't do as you get older than what you can do.
Yeah, the youth basketball, like I coach youth basketball, so I think it's dope. I think it's a great, like when you do it in terms of like just doing it and just trying to like grow some of these young kids in terms of what you're saying. Like, that's the thing that I kind of go with. Like, I always tell a kid, like, you ain't shooting threes, so stop trying to shoot deep. I want to work in your form. Like, I want you to start close to the rim, and then as you get stronger, you back up little by little. I don't want you shooting threes now. I want you to have your form correct. So when you get older, like, you know, it all lines up. You know what I mean? So it's like baby steps. You know what I mean? That's I totally agree with you. Totally
I wish I could do it, and I would do it. I would lower the basket because
it
would allow you now to actually work on shooting a left-hand layup if you're right-handed. Like little stuff like that, right? I mean, it's you know, we can't solve all the world, but I would love to do that, man. If I'm in the area too, I'd love to jump in, you know, hop in the gym. It's something I'm really passionate about. I love helping kids working out. The older they get nowadays, the more problems you got. There's more people you got to deal with, and I ain't in the mood to be dealing with nobody's trainer, trying to debate with somebody's trainer or this coach or that person or whatever, man. I'm just trying to drop a little knowledge and get out the room.
Oh, they would love it, man. Real talk, they would love it because I mean, we got leagues in PG. Can I do PG boys and girls in my neighborhood, whatever? So, but like we start them off at like 5'6", like, and they're already. Yeah, so I think they would love it. I think it'd be great to have somewhere like you teach them. To be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And also you could teach them, I feel like, about perseverance. And that's what I want to ask you about next. Last time you were here, you mentioned how at one point, I think when you were in Detroit, you just wanted to play. You said appropriate didn't go exactly how you wanted, but you found a way to keep going to play until basically, like you said, the wheels fell off. So speak to that perseverance and how gratifying it is now to receive this award and being inducted to the DC Basketball Hall of Fame, considering just the journey that you went through and just the ups and downs.
Life always does that, right? It's life. And I learned more about myself through those events. Like every time I thought it was a failure, like, you know, it was something where, you know, when I first came to college, I was 17. Like I was on campus at 17 years old. And I was a young guy. Like I was young. I was really young when I got in school. I was walking, like I said, I was 17 when I walked on campus. And the red shirt year, me blowing my knee out helped me because it was like, all right, that 95 championship would have never happened because I would have graduated in 94. Right. So I look at something like that move you showed at the beginning of the show. That would have never existed had I not blown my ACL. Right. That whole year that's done. So but everything prior to that, I've had shoulder injuries, and going to the NBA, physically I couldn't hold up. I had to accept that. My body was not allowing me. And during that generation. Now, if I was able to play now in today's game, physically, right? I'm not going to sit here and talk about what I could have, should have. I'm saying physically, I would have been able to hold up. I physically couldn't hold up back then. You know, when you get to run through a lane and knock you, you know, like I couldn't, my body wasn't, you know, I had shoulder surgeries. Before I ever took my first game, I had two shoulder surgeries and a freaking and an ACL before my second game of the year. I dislocate my shoulder and I'm out for a while. I come back my rookie year. I'm done after Christmas. We played the Knicks and I dislocate my shoulder again. It popped out. I told you I was walking around like I was Lethal Weapon, like I was Mel Gibson. I'm banging that thing. I'm grabbing it, you know, popping it back in place, trying to be a hero. And I'm like, man, I can't play like this. It's hard enough playing with two arms. I can't play in this league trying to only use one hand and not be able to use both hands at 185 pounds. It's just not going to happen. So the failures, man, and European just fit me. I was able to play. I spent more time injured in the NBA than I was actually playing. And when I got an opportunity to go, I didn't want to do it initially. It wasn't like you ever grow up and dream like these kids probably do it now. At that time, my dream was to play in the NBA, and I knew I could, but my body couldn't. And then I started having kids. And then that's the real pressure. You guys know this. When you start having kids, man, as a father, when you really are involved in your kid's life and you raising them, they're in a greater pressure and responsibility in this world. And I had that, and they drove me to say, if I got to extend my basketball career by going overseas playing once or twice a week, that might be what I need to do. And that's what I did. And I was fortunate enough to do it. But injuries drove me to playing in Europe. I couldn't play in the 90s. My body would not hold up.
I'm gonna shout out to Roy. Hey, Roy, thanks, man. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate the perspective, man. Roy, thanks, of course, for listening. And I think he got a question. If they couldn't tackle Jordan, because you have done 10, I'm wondering if he means could you have done more time? I don't know. But maybe you can clarify for us.
Yeah, Roy, clarify.
Yeah,
Clarify
clear that text up. I don't know if he's asking, could I physically, in that time, no, I physically couldn't do a lot because again, people don't realize, and I've said this before, it's not an indictment. Like I'm not one of these older guys that's disrespectful to these younger guys.
Yeah.
The game was different. If you played under that, they were skilled. Like I ain't arguing the skill because you lost your mind if you don't think skill is it. But where the physicality was different is, it's like I use a guy like Steph. I use a guy like Steph Curry. Would Steph Curry have been great back then? He would have. Yeah. But he wouldn't. These guys that are playing at 40 years old, you just wouldn't been able to play that long. Right. And then Steph's allowed to do all this running around. You were running through the lane. They were physically allowed to hit you and knock you on your ass, and you couldn't do it. The game was just so much more physical. And then the hand checking thing. If you think Steve Nash is prime example of the hand checking rule. When hand checking went away, he was about to be a journeyman, possibly out of the league. And then the hand checking rule went away, and he turned into an MVP, the freedom of movement. Like that's the significance of what that is. And if you think it's a joke, go in the gym and let somebody show you really what hand checking was like, how you can get away with it, and you'll understand. So, I mean, all that stuff, man, it's just part of it. And again, I don't have any ill wills toward my journey, and I understand it, and I'm grateful for everything it's taken me, man, and traveling the world. And I think the coolest thing about being honored in the Hall of Fame is something like you see others respect what you've done. Because when you're in the grind, man, when you're doing it, you don't know, and you're not doing it for the, we always tell our kids, I would say that to my son, if you live for the cheers, you'll die by the booze. And I never lived for the cheers. I just did it the right way. I just got out, competed, and whatever it was, it was. So, I know my place. I knew, like I said, coming up in that area, though I was confident and I knew I belonged, I also know I got my ass busted on the court in the day. So I ain't no coming in the gym like, all right, and then when I ascended to that point, I'm giving it back. I had to give it back because they took too long to get there, and you don't hold that man too long. It's just like you gotta pass it off. So when you get it, either when it's in college, I got the college, it's the same thing. Kenny Anderson and them and Chris Corciani and them dudes was giving me work. And I had to be like, damn. Man, this is rough. So when the next generation of dudes come here and I get to the top, it's like, yo, like Sam Cassell and them was giving me problems when I first got to school. I'm like, I'm sitting in the locker room like, damn, like I thought I was good. But when it just motivated, and then you get to the point, and I got to that point, man, it's like I got to give it to you, young fella, because these dudes, these vets ain't taking it easy on me. You got to get this work too. So that's just part of your journey, man. And you live, you learn, you respect it, and so I think there's a level of humility that comes with that, because there was a level of humility in gaining that confidence and stuff. I learned it through humility, and I learned it through failure, and that's a big part of my overall success is failure. I've just been able to look back on my failures, my injuries, my journey, and look and say, man, this is like some people. I've had people say this to me, like they thought my career was a failure, and they're like, oh, and some people will give their opinion, and I'm just like, hey, dude, like you can just ask me, I'll tell you. Physically, I can hold up, and I had to accept. It took some time for me to accept that. I couldn't accept it at 21 years old. I struggled.
Wow.
I didn't accept it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't accept it. I was blaming NBA teams. I was like, yo, this is not, y'all not like the dude I saw at Wake.
Right.
The way you took over, like, and that was to me, and that's an era of college basketball where you had dudes. I mean, like dudes. And to a point where if anybody can go, any of our viewers watching this show now, just understand this. This dude was on the same team with Tim Duncan, and he was the dude. It wasn't Timmy D. He was like Randolph Childress was the dude.
If you can take my game of the way I can shoot the ball, and you can put me in this era, I would be a double-digit pro.
I'm gonna ask you that. Yeah. Okay. That's
good. And anybody know basketball and know how I can shoot the ball and how I can score the ball, I would fit in perfectly in this generation. Mm-hmm. Physically, I could not play in that time. I couldn't. And I had to accept that, right? And so I struggled with it initially. I did, and I had doubts in myself, man. I've had 3 major surgeries on my shoulder. I've had broken jaw, ACL, multiple knee surgery. I mean, I've had 8 surgeries, right? So I've been under the knife enough. I paid a price playing this game, right? But it's afforded me a lifestyle. It's afforded me the luxury of relationships with people. If you embrace it the right way, that's what I'm most proud of, leaving that area, because that's another part of the journey that we talk about, guys. You got a lot of dudes that had a chance to get away from there and they just didn't.
Facts.
And you stay there long enough talking about, like, I'm honored that people acknowledge stuff that I did back then, but I'm not living in what I did in 88 and 89 in Flint Hill. I'm not living in that moment. Like, I don't even live in what I did college-wise. I just talk about it as my workspace because I live and I work in basketball now. You know, it's still my basketball knowledge is still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still, watching and critiquing NBA games and the difference in G League games and the difference in overseas kids and summer league and high school kids. Like I'm doing all of that. So my knowledge base is growing, even now, and that's satisfying my appetite for the game.
Yeah, you beat me to it, because one of my last 2 questions was that you could have went left.
Right.
It's a lot of different things. Right. I'm sure you know of people who did, unfortunately. Right. So I feel like that should be just gratifying in itself, that you made it out and you made a choice. Like you say, it's not like you had the best structure, because I was the same way. I was the first one, the second one in my family to get a bachelor's degree, you know what I mean? So you was very similar. So I know that has to feel great because of what you made it from. If you didn't, this is what could have happened. Again, we all know those guys,
And I look at it and tell different people all the time. Like my cousin, people a little younger, like y'all age, will know my cousin Joe Childress, right? Mm-hmm. And Joe played at he played with Lou, and him and him, he played with Lou coming along, and so he's teaching out in Texas, and I tell him all the time, I'm like, yo, man, you made it. Mm-hmm. Like you made it, like you made it out of Southeast DC. Mm. Like your father was a hustler that they came to your front door dressed as a UPS man and murdered your father. Like, we're not talking about some street crime. We're talking about your father was a major player and got professionally hit. And you down here teaching and successful in your life. Like, man, you made it. Like, this thing, don't look at me like I did something great. Like that's part of what the journey is. And then when you see people that go on and have Hall of Fame, NBA Hall of Fames like Durant, you just admire their success, man. You cheer for them, and then you move on, right? And you applaud them now, and that's something that this generation I don't think do enough of. Even with guys like we were talking, Ray, before we signed on about John Wall. People judge him off of the young, immature John Wall. If you look at what John Wall came from in his circumstances when he got to DC. Like, don't rip him for being young and immature and trying to figure it out. Like, he's no different than any of us would have been when you went. And I was just that immature when I was 21 years old, and he was younger than I was and got handed all this money.
Yeah, that's facts. So you mentioned relationships. You mentioned a lot of names already. You mentioned past coaches. Right. When we had Steve Turner on this show, of course, he's being inducted with you. He said, I'm worried about that list of people I got to recognize. I don't want to leave nobody out. So where are you at with that?
Hey, man, listen, I reached out to Steve the other day and I congratulate him, and I'm going to give him a call because I don't know. Man, listen, it's why, honestly, it's the one thing that I'm worried about because we don't have long. I think we're going to get like 3 to 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, that's it?
Come on, man. Start name, yeah. One, you got to, right? You got to do that, right? You can't. You got to put a limit on it. But I think it's 5 minutes, and that's okay. But when you get into congratulating people, man, and start talking about people, I don't even know where to start, right? Like I don't know where to. It's seriously, like, I'm literally gonna have to write down the name of certain people. but it may not make sense to everybody. Like I literally may just say, I may get up there and start sounding like I'm DMX. So like I got Tina and Tina. I'm gonna get in there. Hey, well, like, that's the only way I can get the name in, bro. I can't sit there. Or I'm gonna be like the name, the ticket gonna be in the back. I'm gonna be like, hey man, y'all don't give a damn. I'm going over that list. Y'all give me 5 minutes, man. Y'all go to hell. I'm going 10 minutes. I'm getting all mine there. Like I don't want to be that dude. Cause look who I'm going in here with, man. You got an NBA Hall of Famer going into this thing, man. Like I mean, seriously. Like I look at the list I'm going in with, and I'm like, damn. So I honestly, I'm worried about that. I lie to you not, man. I have not thought about a speech. It's going to be, it'll be maybe, I have to think about it. I really don't. I'm sitting here now and it'll be a week before and I won't have a speech done. Because it's just going to have to come to me. There'll be people I need to acknowledge and I have to acknowledge. But I try to acknowledge those people well before a speech in the Hall of Fame won't, they'll understand and they know, right? I try to give everyone their flowers. I've learned to give people their flowers well before it's too late. So I'll do so prior to that event, but I'm dreading it, man. I ain't gonna lie. I have no idea how that's gonna turn out.
Man, well, I just want to say, because I don't have any more questions. I don't have any more questions about you. I told you I was going to mention John Wall because he retired today. Right. But I just want to just say, like I told Coach Steve Turner, just the guys from this area that are now representing around the globe for basketball, man. It's such a beautiful thing to see him in Mount Vernon now. Coach Frank Oliver is at IMG. Like, it's so many guys, players, coaches in front office positions. Like, I don't even think people from this area who are casual basketball fans or even, diehard basketball fans know the depth of, the DC area and how much of a basketball hotbed this is. Every time we have coaches on, we say, you got to recruit from this area. You got to because it's so much talent. And it bothers me that players get out of this area, high school players that don't go to Georgetown or Maryland. Anyway, that's another subject. Yeah. But I'm just saying, thank you, man, for representing for the area. And just like I told Coach Turner and everybody else, it's great to see and people know what we all about in the DC area because of guys.
When we know, right? Yeah. Out and about, we all know. We know those before us. We know those after us. We know, right? And I think we do a great job of when we do meet and see people in the area, there's just an understanding, right? We do acknowledge each other in that aspect. I think nationally, people may not talk about it as much because then it gets too competitive in some aspect, but I don't think it really is. I think it's far and away the DMV. When you talk about college coaches right now, that's the case. And there's a ton of the question you did say about the Georgetown and Maryland thing is something that I even wonder about and question. We have to figure out a way to get those programs back amongst the best in the country. And they were growing up. I was going to Maryland. Right. And then the probation came. Right. Like that was why, it was a bunch of us from like Stephon Marbury, brother Norman Marbury, and a couple of us that I was on that 90s, all Met team. A couple of us were talking about going to Maryland. So it was Williams' first year. And then they got put on probation. And then, they kind of told us that, we shouldn't go there because we were banned from TV. And then Georgetown was rolling. And I would have gone to Georgetown, but Charles Harrison went to Georgetown. So, that's the business side of it. They're only going to take one of us, and he went. He committed early. I didn't. So I would love to see Georgetown kind of rolling and consistently getting back to the way it once was. We'll see if it's possible. The landscape of the sport, man, and the game and everything is changing faster than universities can keep up with it. But I hope some of these younger kids growing up would understand what it takes to do that. And I think some of the universities got to do a better job of retaining some of these former players, man, and getting them back involved in these programs. Yeah. I think it's vital. Like the institutions have to do a better job of that as well, involving some of your former athletes. And I don't think they do a good enough job with something like that. And with the rich tradition of those programs,
I agree.
Come on, man, y'all got to figure that out. I got, I just even the coaching hire Maryland this year, I thought was the way that whole thing went down was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, man. You mentioned some names already. You mentioned Bias, Kurt Smith. I mean, they're right.
I mean, in Georgetown, like, look how they barely really use Allen Iverson, and that's probably one of the more marketable individuals you could use.
I think at times when guys go, when you are the way that Allen was, right, as a pro, you pull away from him.
Got it. Okay.
I would imagine they pulled away from. Obviously, Big John didn't or anything like that. But you look at him from a because most of the time the athletic department is one thing, but the institution is a whole nother side. Now, because of today's economics and the landscape of college athletics, it's forcing them to merge. They used to be like two separate entities, right? College is one, athletics is. The university is over there, administration, and then the athletic department. Now with this $20.5 million from schools and up to that, and blah blah blah. Now it's forcing, the schools to merge. And then you got some people running them, man. Not everybody, most people running them schools. That sport thing isn't big. It's money, right? It's about money now. And the administration's job, they're charging, they're making money. Most athletic departments is a drain on the department, on the university. So I'm cheering for Georgetown, man. I'm cheering for Maryland just because it's home. I'm cheering for all the local teams, right? That they figure it out, but those two in particular.
So Randolph, what would you say is like, you're one of a select few of folks that we can say, like, we look at the DMV in terms of dudes out there, like, or one of them, or on the Mount Rushmore, or what? Like, there's a list of Mount Rushmore. What is your Mount Rushmore on the DMV circuit? What is yours?
Oh, don't do that to me.
Last time I asked you about like college basketball,
it's like asking me my damn Hall of Fame speech, right?
Hey, I'm just saying. Last time I asked you about the ACC, now I'm gonna ask you about the DMV. You on it? You there now? Like, you there now?
Nah, I ain't on that list, man. That list is. I would be surprised. I really would. If you can go ask anybody, right? I would be surprised. This is what I meant when I say. You paid your dues and you got your ass lit up. I would be surprised to hear anyone say, man, I'm on that list. Like that's, and I say that in a way of saying, when you came up, for as long as I can remember, I don't care if you going back to Adrian Dantley days, there was somebody there that was busting your ass. Period. That's all, and that's all I'm saying. So it's hard to say that when you grow up, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to get out there and I can't get on the court, or they light my ass up. Right? Like it's like even to like Lynn. Like Lynn was good, but Lynn wasn't Lynn and at Northwestern, and he wasn't that dude then. He wasn't. Wow, so it's like it's hard to. And that's what I mean when I say, if you try to say a Mount Rushmore, it's like it's easy to say now, and you can say, all right, I'm gonna say Kevin Durant.
Yeah, exactly.
What he is today. But if we're going back to locally, like when guys were hooping at a high school era, man, it would take that would be a show within itself. We would have to get call-ins. We would literally have to start the show and then get call-ins and then be like, you know what? Nah, he was a bad boy. We might have to get down there and literally go. I mean, because it's too many guys. Like I just don't. I can't. I tell you what you would have to do.
Yeah.
I think the only way to do it, or a fun thing for you guys to do, would be doing it by an era. That would be the only way I think it makes sense that you can even have an understanding of going like you know what? If we go to the early 80s, who would it have been? If we go to the 85, the late 80s, if we go to the mid 90s, or what I mean? That's the only way you can do it without being biased to what they became. And just go off of like, yo, when they was in high school, or when this dude was around here, like he was different. And something like that. Like that's like that's why I said I couldn't pick a Mount Rushmore, because I don't know. I got my ass lit up too much for that. Like I had to wait my turn. Like it took a while, bro. I was taking L's. I was taking L's to be, what I'm saying, from them older dudes, man. I didn't. I'm looking at radar on these dudes like, man, what the hell? Like I can't. Like I'm looking at Clint. I'm watching Clinton Venable. And even guys on our team. I thought, when I was at Friendly, I wasn't. We were good. Like, we were good. I wasn't no freshman playing varsity with us. I'm sitting there playing JV with Dickie Simpkins and James Stevens and Jamie Tyler and the rest of us. We all playing JV.
Wow. Wow.
But I got called up to varsity, but I set my ass on the bench. I wasn't up on varsity playing. There's no freshman. Like, man, get out of here.
That is crazy.
It's tough too when you include Virginia. I mean, it's such a big area when you include the whole DMV. It's so difficult. Like you said, another show for another day. But I don't know, Wole, if you got any.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I just was before we let you get out of here. John Wall, you know, he was dubbed DC's point guard. Me and Wole interviewed him in the locker room several times. You know, for us being on this side of it, it wasn't always easy. When you interview professional athletes, people just finished a game. Right. People talk low. People don't want to speak to you. But John Wall, like I said, is one of them dudes, always stand-up dude, always gave a candid answer, even if it was hilarious. He taking shots. But on the court, I felt like after the whole Gilbert Arenas incident in DC, I feel like he brought it back. He brought the Wizards to relevance. The Bullets that me and Wole grew up watching with Liddell Eccles and Chris Whitney and all them, we ain't see what John Wall was doing for the kids today. He was. Oh, what's your take on him? Just his whole career. I'm talking about from high school where he was on YouTube with 100 million views to the guy that brought, I feel like, DC basketball back or the Wizards organization back to relevance.
Got a chance to meet John. He has been a hell of a mentor and friend of my son. So I know him. And he's had a hell of a career. And to me, he's lived up to that, right? He lived up to the hype of being the number one player, you know, coming out of in high school and then in college. He lived up to that. I know his background. Again, I know his story. I think early on, the Wizards failed him as much as he struggled to take on that responsibility. And that's hard. That franchise hasn't done, they haven't figured it out. Right, there hasn't been consistent. I like what they're doing now, but they've the Wizards have gone through lulls and a lack of inconsistency. And I thought when John matured a little bit, he was able to figure it out. But the DMV hard, man. It's hard for brothers to come there, man. It's listen. I say this all the time, and I mean this, and I think people just don't understand this.
It's the truth, though.
It is the only place in the area that we are the majority.
I knew it.
It's the only place. And so when you young and you get here, you get all of that, and that's hard. It's hard. It's hard on a brother, man. It's young. It's hard on anybody, any age. But when you're 21 with money, man, you don't stand a chance, man. You don't. Come on, bro. Like you don't really. And then you're gonna dump this dude in the city and give him millions of dollars, and then what he's supposed to do? Like, I mean, come on. Like,
they gave that man a Rosebud jersey, but you know what? It's true. And me and Wole went to HBCU where we was like 8-1, females to males. You know, it's difficult. And we grew up here. I grew up. I already know what you're talking about. I knew you was going there. It's not.
DC still rough on a brother when you go.
It is. It may be worse. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Let me tell y'all something. I'm happily married. I love my wife will not let me bring my ass to the DMV by myself. She like, and my wife still work. If I say I'm coming home, my wife be like, when we leaving? We French all of a sudden.
We got bad hamstrings, man.
We French. I be like, yo, I'm about to go home and go see my brother. Yeah, I'm going to see brother too. Like every time I go up there, when I say I'm coming up there, I'm going to see family. We going to see family. Like my wife ain't playing that. She like, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't.
Well, yeah, we had it rougher because we had clubs and all that stuff. Today they got lounges and things. We in Wole every Friday. We had to go. We seen Sugar Bear and we had it fun. And I think you can do it, but it's okay. I understand why.
No, I ain't gonna lie. And Randolph, I ain't gonna lie. It's tougher now. It's getting tougher now.
I'm good. I'm good. See, I
ain't looking. Let me take that back. I'm looking. I just ain't doing nothing.
Hey, yo.
Let me be clear and stop your line, right? It's okay to look. I ain't doing nothing. I'm looking. I'm going to look. Let's not listen. We can't lie. I always say to my wife, we ain't gonna lie to each other. We don't do the lying stuff. I'm gonna look.
Yeah,
now, I ain't gonna be disrespectful with it because there's times I'm looking. She right here, and I'm like. Eyes front and center, mister.
Well, I look forward to seeing that when you come home. I don't know how much family you got coming out, how that works, but I'm sure it's gonna be a day. I wonder where you plan to eat at.
I look forward to it, man. I do. I'm excited about it. It's a tremendous honor. I don't take it lightly. I understand my place. I understand the people that I'm even being inducted into the Hall of Fame with. I'm humbled, man. I'm honored. I understand my journey, and I understand the people that have helped me with that journey. This is as much a celebration for all of those. I'm talking teachers, man, from Garfield to Heights, from Friendly to Gwen Park to Flint Hill. There's teachers that's why I say get into the name. Man, there's teachers that helped me along the way that I remember that had a tremendous impact on me, and I wouldn't be where I am today without them. So, man, there's so many different people from, the journey, you being a part of that process, man. And so I'm excited about it. I'm a little bit nervous. I'd be lying to you if I tell you I wasn't, because it's just like, wow, like I'm walking in there and I'm seeing some people that I know are some great people, done a lot of great things. And then to be honored, right? It's people that just acknowledge, like, you never know. This ranks up there with me. And I've told you guys this story. My coolest thing that ever happened to me in college is not that crossover, right? The best thing that ever happened to me was I had my jersey retired in college on senior night. Like, I'm gonna say that on senior night. Not they like when my last home game, this wasn't just the parents come down and this is your last game when you walk out with the flowers. I walked out there with my jersey. They're like, look, ain't nobody wearing 22 no more. This is it. That's on senior night. Like that doesn't happen. Yeah. Right. That you don't. I haven't seen that since, and I'm not saying it hasn't ever happened, but we're talking 30 years ago, right? And so and then I remember what's the coach for NC State at the time? We played NC State. They came out on the visiting team, Sendek. They came out on the bench and they sat on the bench. And they sat there and they watched. And it was it's respect. I was like, wow, I must have, whether you think I'm the best, I'm this or not, that shows a level of respect, right? Wake Forest has said this is a level of respect. They didn't do that for any of those other. They didn't even do that for Tim.
I know.
Or these other guys. It was just like, hey, man, like they may have done it afterwards with Tim, but it was like, hey, prior to that, you guys came back, right, or whatever. And so this to me ranks up there with that because I understand DC basketball, right? I understand what it takes for guys, the respect that you must obtain to get an honor like that, man. So I'm truly honored, man. I'm blessed. I'm humbled, and I'm just I'm soaking it in day by day as we get closer. As I start to work on the speech too.
I mean, I feel like you already got your speech already.
Ray, I just got to put it together, man. I mean, it's not a lot of time. I told you, I'm gonna be DMX. I'm gonna be out there. Dropping names.
Stop, man.
That's crazy. Hey, you got any plans in terms of where you gonna eat? That's what I was getting ready to ask you before.
Nah, man. I honestly, I don't know. Life is life, man. So my kids, I don't know if my kids will be able to go.
Okay,
if they'll be able to be here, but I got family and friends there, man. So we'll come up. I'm old now, man. Like this month, I'm eating no red meat, no chicken, no anything else. So next month, it might be a steak. Like I may get up there and be like, man, let me go to Capitol Grill. Let me find who got the best steak. Let me get Del Frisco's. I may figure out something. So, we'll celebrate it. I will. I'll do something and try to go to dinner, man, with as many people in that journey as possible, man, and try to touch all of them if I could. In a perfect world, that would be the way I'd like to celebrate it, is get up there a couple of days and spend time with those different people, whether it's breakfast, a cup of coffee, lunch, some dinners, like that would be the way ideal place that I'd be able to spend some time with all those people.
Perfect. Well, Randolph, this has been dope, man. I feel like you gave your speech out here on the Urban Sports Scene.
Hey, I need y'all to post. I need y'all to cut it and edit it and send it to me, man. That way I can
do that. We ready to do that for you.
Hey, listen, man. I love what y'all doing, man. I'm constantly watching. I'm always honored to be on the show, man. And I suggest anybody out there, man, if you're listening, you listen to the Urban Sports Scenes, man. These brothers are doing their thing. Support them, subscribe. Y'all keep doing y'all thing, man. Y'all got a fan in me.
We appreciate you, man. Real talk.
Appreciate that. Appreciate you, shout out to Mr. Hill and Hanif, that helped, put this together for us and get you on Urban Sports Scene just to share all the stories. It's nostalgic for us too.
Yeah, it is.
Man, it's fun, man. It's always fun like I said, you guys do your homework, man. You know the sport, the game. You love the area as well. You guys know the guys. And like I said, man, you're doing a hell of a job, putting the area on. But I would be curious, though. I do think y'all should do that one day, man. I think y'all should get people involved. But I do think the only way y'all can do it is by errors. I don't know if it's possible. I really don't. I don't know if it's possible because you got to be strategic in saying it's got to be within that sample size, whether it's high school or college. Like you got to be real detailed in what you're describing or what the criteria is to be successful, man. But either way,
I feel like our era would probably be. Would you say our era, like around our time frame, probably would it be like DJ? Would it be DeMar? Would it be DJ?
No, I think it's Walt. Definitely, Walt is in our era. DJ is there. I don't know if he's in mine. He might be in yours, but
DJ when I was in high school. I mean,
DJ was the dude.
When we was in high school. He was like it.
You know why it's hard? Because when you think about something like that, it's literally like year to year.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like somebody's dominating in that area for multiple years. You're not doing that then.
Yeah, you're not.
What's the name would be one? And I'll say this. I think another thing you got to add the context in where a person like me got hurt.
Yeah.
I was 17. Right. So in the 10th grade, I'm 15 years old. But I won a state championship at Gwynn Park. You get what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes when I say stuff like that, it's a context to some of this stuff where, like people won't realize. Like I'll tell you another name people wouldn't honor because if he's not your NBA name. But Donald Ford back in the early 90s was a problem. In the late 80s was a problem. Like he was a problem. And this generation won't know because he's not Kevin Durant. But you go back into the early 80s and your high school coach wasn't trying to find and play Donald Ford. We wasn't looking for him. So it gets hard, man. And
that's how Keith Veeney was too. But anyway, I ain't gonna keep you, bro.
You tell Vinny I still can't shoot better than me when you talk to Keith. Keith my man. Keep another one. Keep my man. You tell Keith he still can't shoot better than me.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'll let y'all figure it out.
My man Vinny, but he know. We'll talk trash about that. I saw he great dude, another great one.
There was a lot of shooters back then. A lot of shooters back then. Curtis Staples, like all the guys that.
Oh my God!
Curtis Staples. I can't pick just one when it comes to shooting.
You can't. It's impossible.
Can't do it. But I'm not doing the Mount Rushmore thing. That's a setup. I'll let him handle that one.
I throw me out there. Hey, look, that's a question you gotta tell me before. Hey, man, we gonna ask you.
You know what? I should have. I set you up, man. I apologize.
Yeah, you try to set
I set you up, man. I thought you were gonna be like Dave Chappelle, like Dylon. Childress.
Nah. I had to go to a day for that. I might have had a day. I might have been on that day. I was it. Nah, I took too many L's growing up to be talking about what I did. I just did my thing and passed it on to the next, man. So.
Oh man. Hey, well, Randolph, thanks for being on. We appreciate you, man. Right, man. Is anything you want to add before we let you go?
Nah, man. Listen, I can say what I said, man. I'm a fan. Keep doing what y'all doing, man. Y'all got a great thing going, man. Just keep it up. And if anything comes up my way, man, and I need to jump on, you guys got the number, man. I'll do it anytime I can.
Appreciate you. All right, man. Definitely appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Take care, man. Anyway, folks for tuning in. Y'all been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. You dig? Deuces. We are out. Peace. Peace.